The last REST page that we're going to create is called Search and Filter. Search and Filter allows you to create REST calls that can define parameters to search or filter through your server information in your app. In this case, we're going to use Search and Filter to be able to search for a doctor. On your sheet, down towards the bottom, you have a REST call for Search and Filter. I'm going to go ahead and copy this now, and then we're going to create a new page. So click on a new page, click on Search and Filter as your page layout, and choose Continue. For your page name and display name, you can use whatever you like, but for my page name here, I'm going to type Search. For my display name, I'm also going to type Search. And then for my results, again, I'm going to type Results here. And for my display name, I'm going to type Results. You can add more if you like. If you want to say, searched physicians or physician results or anything else that you would like to put in your display name, you can choose. Hit Save and Continue. I've already copied my REST URL. If you have not, go ahead and copy it now and then paste it in here and then check for variables. Variables here are a little bit different. You have to be able to first find your parameters, which in this case mine are fname and lname. And then you have to choose whether or not is a search term, a filter, or a variable. We are using search for both of these because we're going to search for our doctors by either first name or last name. Then you need a sample value. So you want to choose a name. I've given you guys the name Thomas Kale in your sample information. So for my first name, I'm going to type Thomas. For my last name, I'm going to type Kale. And then we're going to move to the next step. The default value is a value that you can actually type in that will show up on the page of the app. We're not going to use one here, but you can, for instance, if you want to put a value in there such as a variable, and you can put like a couple of different ones in there so somebody knows what to search for when they're searching for a variable. If you have custom headers, you will include them, but we do not. Hit Send to make sure that your REST URL has succeeded, and it will pull up that particular sample, and hit Save and Continue. You will get a parent node to see what information pulled in. Hit Save and Continue, and then we're going to go to data mapping. Now, for the REST AppBlock, for the REST page, you are going to actually design two canvases. One is going to be your search page, which is an input view, and it follows the same rules as an input page does. Your second one will be the results page, which looks like a list view, and it follows the same rules of the list view. The only difference is it will only return what you search for on the search page. So you want to make sure that in data mapping, you choose the fields that you want. So for my input view, I need the first name and the last name. So I'm going to use my last name as a short text field and my first name as a short text field. Next, I want the fields for my results view. In many cases, you're going to design your results page to look just like your list view, which is what I'm going to do. So I want to look for the fields that I used earlier. So I want my doctor icon photo, which will be an image. I want my physician's name, which will be a short text field. And I want my physician's title type, which is also a short text field. Hit Save and Continue. And then you're going to look for your available features. Because we do have a list view included in our search and filter page, it does ask if you want to enable pagination. We only have a few physicians, so we're going to say no thanks and hit Save and Continue. Quick review of all the steps and finish. Now we have the two pages below. What I want to do here on my search page is I want to drag and drop my fields over. I am going to bring a rich text label up here into the top. And I'm going to design it, so I'm going to give it a white background. I'm going to leave the text color as blue. I'm going to center the writing. I'm going to leave the text size as it is, And then under configuration, because this is a rich text label on an input view, I can format it. So I'm going to go into a bold print, and then I'm going to type search for a physician by first and or last name. Now, I'm also going to italicize that. Now, it is important to keep in mind that when you're creating your search and filter, that you designate what the search parameters are. My search parameters are set up to where a person can actually search by the first name or the last name or both if they have them. Next, I'm going to bring over my first name. And I'm going to make this look a little bit more like a form, so I'm just going to drag it from one end to the other. And then I'm going to come up here, right-click, copy, and then paste the layout below. You will notice that because there's a placeholder text here, that it says placeholder text and then it says fname. I'm going to go under configuration. My keyboard type is going to be alpha. I'm going to change this to first name. I am not going to require the field because I'm giving the user the option to search by either or. So I'm going to click done. Next, I'm going to bring over the last name field. I'm going to right click and paste the formatting. And then I'm going to drag this from one end to the other. And then again, I'm going to go to properties, configuration, and I'm going to change this to last name. And click on done. Next, I want my actions. So, the actions I have available here are reset form. If you would like to give them the option, you can. Or cancel. So, I'm going to put cancel up in the nav bar. So, I'm going to drag and drop get results on the screen. Now, because this is an action, it acts like a button. What I want to do now is I want to change this. So, I'm going to say get results. Or you can type in search if you want to use that. I'm going to change this text color here to white. I'm going to bold it and make it a little larger so it stands out. And just adjust this area a little bit more. Anywhere that my user types in this particular space is going to enable the search. Now this screen is done, I'm going to go to results. On my results page, I'm going to use the same format that I used on my list view. So I'm going to make this background completely white. And now I'm going to go to my images and drag and drop my doctor icon photo over. I'm going to bring over my physician's full name. So you want to make sure you choose physician name. And then I'm going to bring over their title type. Again, I have designed this so it looks exactly like the list view on the previous page. If you formatted your page a little differently, so if you made the text color different or even adjusted the size of the name or bolded anything, you can always go to that page, right click and copy the format, come back to this page and paste it into here. So my search and filter page is designed. Now I need to connect my results page to the detail view. So I want to go to navigation under properties and make sure you're on the results page. I want to go to REST physicians, and then I want to select my detail physicians, and then I'm going to choose ID for my doctor ID. Do not use the F name or L name, that will not connect the page. So my results page is now available. Now, when you use results, you do have a couple of options. You do have to make a button for the search page off by itself. You don't have an action built into the other pages to be able to do this. So I'm going to go back to my home canvas. I'm going to come down here to my tabs on the screen, and I'm going to go to my REST physicians, and I'm going to select search as my page. Now I can go back to this tab, and under style I can change this to search and choose my icon. So I'm going to go to a white icon list because it's going to be easier to see on a black background. and I am going to look for an icon that I can use to search for a physician. And then click OK. So when I click on this button, it's going to take me directly to the search page. You can type in a first and or last name, and then it will give you the results page, which will then send you to the detail view of the REST AppBlock. You will notice that I still have my departments set to its own button. You also have the option of creating a button on the detail page of another page, or putting it inside of a header. Whichever one you choose is up to you. But that is how you create your layout for search and filter, and that puts an end to our REST lesson.